If you don't like it that much, I'm gonna help you leave. I'm gonna just block you. Since you don't know how to leave, I'll assist you. Who gets to occupy two spaces? Yeah, tomfoolery, you can get blocked. How about that? Do I look black or white? I look both. I don't look black or white. I look both. You thought all spaces were biracial. You thought wrong. You thought wrong. So this conversation is not for you. So I'm gonna exit you out of here. You're blocked. People shouldn't be separated by color. Who is separated by color? What's foolery? We're not segregating. How are we segregating? Y'all don't know what y'all be talking about. Y'all just come in here saying anything. You're why you're just segregating again. Who's segregating? Where read the title. It doesn't say anything about segregating. Where are these non-biracial places? Exactly, where are they? You can't say you're white. We didn't say we was white, bruh. I'm gonna block people just coming here assuming shit. Nobody said it was white. If you heard that come out my mouth, press 1. Cause I never said no shit like this. Florida boy, don't come in here just saying shit, bruh. How am I trying to segregate? Me wanting a biracial space is segregation? Do you even know what segregation is? Nobody's stopping biracial from having a space. Look, this is a biracial space right now, right? I'm in a biracial space and people are coming in here saying I'm segregated. I am making a point. We're literally just chilling in our own identity, in our own space, and y'all come in here telling we're segregating just for us being us. How are we segregated if your ass walked up in here and you're not even biracial? I fit in however, whenever you were raised. I'm biracial. I was raised biracial. Separating everyone, separated everyone by race. That's what a race is. I didn't create race. You're trying to say that there are biracial people who don't fit in white or black. Yeah, you don't hear biracial people saying I'm too white for black people, too black for white people. There's a lot of biracial people saying that. I don't fit into it. That's why I'm in my biracial space and I'm happy and comfortable here. People are reconnecting with their culture. Good for them. Just because they don't look completely black or white. How come y'all don't say this to white people? How come you don't walk up to white people and be like, you don't look white? How do you look white? Not all white people are white. Y'all don't do that. Y'all don't walk into majority white neighborhoods and ask them why are they the majority here. But in our space, y'all walk up in here and talk to us however y'all think y'all want. Sounds like more segregation. Sounds like more. What sounds more like segregation? Elaborate. But facts are people are going to hate you for being you. Yeah, normalizing. It's not normal. Apparently, it's not normal. You hear these people saying we're segregating. You didn't say anything wrong. Normalize the term biracial to be more than just black and white. Y'all blazing. Blazing is its own term. Why would a blazing say they're biracial? Like, when blazing is way more Pacific than biracial. That doesn't make sense. I don't gotta explain nothing, and I'm defensive because they need to explain what they're talking about. I don't need to explain. How you just gonna walk in here and say segregation? I don't see nowhere in the title where it says segregate. So I don't know where they reading, putting words in people's mouth to create their own narrative. Y'all don't know what segregation means, apparently. Who wanna come up?
Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said earlier, I really appreciate this topic. And looking at the comments, you know, and what I said earlier, I think it all starts with loving yourself. And, you know, some of the comments are saying, you know, it's black or white, but that's not statistically, scientifically factual information, because you can't take, I'm going to talk about my grandchild, for example. One of my grandchildren is, has European, specifically Irish and Scottish. She's also African American. She's Comanche, Cherokee, Choctaw, and Chickasaw. And her hair is, more like that of an African American, but her other features are distinctly Native American. So in my personal situation, we had an instance where there was an individual in our family that said that my grandchildren were abominations because they were biracial.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they said that they were an abomination, and needless to say, that person is no longer in our lives because we accept all people. We try to, because we are such a melting pot in our family, we try to learn about and incorporate different parts of the different cultures in our family to let everyone have that exposure and the education and the love and acceptance of all parts of who we are. And that's the way we leave it.
Let me ask you.
Let me say something to anybody who, Juicy, I'm gonna block you if you keep saying biracial is more than black and white. We already know that. Stop saying stuff we already know.
Let me
This
ask
is
y'all a
about
question,
black and
right?
white biracial people. Go
Let
ahead.
me ask you guys a question. Since we're on this biracial thing, all of this should have a history. You know, if biracial is going to be its own race, its own space, it needs a history of where it comes from, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to look at
Creating history right now.
right. So we're going to look at the history of biracial people in America.
We got erased.
Excuse me?
We got erased. Our history got erased.
No, actually it didn't, and that's why I'm about to take you back to it. Back early 1700s, when slave masters had babies from the slaves, right? Those babies were mixed. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Black and white. Were those slaves free?
Some of them.
Like, what's the percentage of them?
Well, I don't know the percentage.
Because I highly doubt there were. So, what you usually had, because under the Constitution, no man of color was free under the Constitution.
So
That
there's no such
included-
thing as free people of color? Is that what you're telling me?
There were no people during slavery, except for people who had already been free, or unless they had been caught or been put back into slavery. But the law, under the law, when slavery started, even the kids of slaves were considered slaves, and that was mixed children also.
Hey, I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
I have a question real quick.
What's your
Okay.
question?
I
So
wasn't
isn't
done,
this
but
like
okay.
the exact thing that MLK fought against?
No, we're not segregating. We're not segregating.
So
Well, what is segregation? It's the separation of
Segregation
races,
is
don't you
when
think?
you're
it's
not
more
allowed in our
beneficial?
community. You're allowed in our community.
Yeah, exactly.
When you go to Chinatown, do you
And
call
that's
that
what this
segregation?
is. A biracial space is people of people of color, people of the color that is not allowed into the space. They're not allowed. That is
How are they not allowed here?
segregation.
You're in here
It's
right now and
steps.
you're white.
No, it's not here. It says normalizing biracial spaces for biracial people.
Yeah.
That's a
You don't-
space
you-
where
you
only
don't-
biracial people
that's not
are
what it
and
means.
can enter.
No, it's majority biracial
It's
people.
very simple.
No, it's majority biracial people, and we get to choose who can come into our space if you're not being ignorant and dismissive, so we can have
It
our
says
conversations.
normalizing spaces for biracial people who do not fit into black or white.
Right, and where does it say segregate?
well, if you don't fit into black or
But what it
white,
does is it heavily implies segregate.
How does it apply?
Without saying it forthrightly, it
You have
heavily,
to say
heavily
something
implies
for it to apply.
well, if you don't fit into black
No.
or white, where do you fit?
I fit into biracial. Where do white people fit?
That's separation.
Okay, why are white and black people separated?
They're not.
As-
That's
Okay, you two have identities, but you're not separated, right? So why
Listen,
can't I have
listen.
an identity?
The reason why we're
you
separated
can have an
is
identity
because
You do
Right,
have an identity.
biracial. That's my identity.
listen,
Okay,
listen. The
nobody's
reason why,
arguing against your identity. We're
right? You
just,
can't
this is
identify. I mean,
segregation is what you're proposing here.
No, I'm not
Right.
proposing
and you
segregation.
can listen.
I'm not.
you can
I'm
identify.
proposing unity,
You may
biracial
not
unity.
think you're proposing it, but you're
No,
proposing
I'm
it.
promoting biracial unity.
If you're promoting biracial unity,
There's
then
Latino communities, there's white communities, there's black communities, right? So how is me
No,
making a
there's not.
community? So when LGBTQ makes a community, they're segregated from everybody else.
wait. So listen. This is what I'm saying. You have
There's a fucking
listen, guys.
furry community. There's
you
a
have
stuffed
biracial-
animal community.
Can you listen for a minute? You have biracial people, right, who don't look phenotypically black at all, right? That go through life passing as white.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
They don't consider themselves mixed. They consider themselves white with black ancestry. Pretty much, right?
Yeah, but that has
So
nothing to do
so
with
listen up. So a mixed person who can't identify as white, right, is identified as a person of color, which person of color it includes mixed people. Am I correct? Because you have mixed.
I don't know because I don't identify as a person of color. I identify as a black and white biracial person. That's my identity. That's what this space is for.
I mean,
if you don't
can
understand
you
that,
can identify as a horse. I mean, but what the
all
government
right, but this ain't a horse
identifies-
space. Don't be
I know, but-
disrespectful. Why are you
but-
here, bro? What do you have
No,
to
listen.
say?
Listen, don't be childish. I'm trying to talk to you, my
No,
guy.
you're not talking to me. You're talking shit.
Yeah,
No,
Florida, you've been monopolizing the conversation and you're being really aggressive. And that's really not appropriate for this conversation because this is a conversation. It's not a debate. It's
Well-
about people coming together in a like-minded way with kindness. It's not about division, but you're being very aggressive and you turn people off to any view that you have when you come off that way. So maybe just kind of regroup for a second. I don't mean to attack you, but it is abrasive and it
Well,
doesn't
you-
add value.
Well, you actually just came at me very aggressive in a kind voice.
Aggressive in a kind voice.
Yes,
You're a
you can be
grown
aggressive.
man,
It's
bro. What
called
is you
passive
talking about?
aggressiveness.
Why is you talking like this?
See, and this is why we can't have an adult conversation
We
because we don't
can't.
have
I don't
adults.
want to no more. You done said some
Yes,
crazy
you're
shit. You
fine.
know,
Bye.
you good? Bye.
Bye. Kick me, chump.
Kick yourself. Fuck. You said bye.
I let and see the who was it? Anaya Delaney saying, "Why are you letting the white woman attack a black man?" Chatasia Hoki, Chata Ahoyo. I'm a Choctaw woman. I'm a member of my tribe. My lineage is Choctaw. We have always been indigenous. We do have European, specifically Irish and Scottish. But see, you're judging me there based on skin tone, which is inherently racist and inherently divisive. And it goes specifically against what the host is trying to normalize here.
I'm gonna just make it clear. I'm not trying to segregate people in any kind of way. So I could just stop with that conversation. Cause
I don't think it's segregating. I think, we've had need to have this conversation, as interesting as it may be, because there's been multiracial and biracial people since the beginning of time, long before slavery. And unfortunately, in the United States, because of the history of slavery, you have the one drop rule. Because even when they did Plessy versus Ferguson, he was only 1/8 of color, and that's hardly no color at all. And that's how they came up with the separate but equal doctrine. And the conversation will go on because it's basically on how the world 1A perceives you or how you choose to identify yourself. It's okay to be both. You don't negate one for the other.
right. But is there any biracial people that are like here that want to come up and talk?
Well, I am
I'm
biracial.
biracial.
I'm actually multiracial. I
No, I
walk
wasn't trying to
between
dismiss
four
you. Like I'm
different
trying to
worlds.
let everybody talk, even monoracial people, because they're the ones who created biracial people. So I'm not trying to dismiss that. I just want to know like how they feel about the topic because you keep hearing they don't feel comfortable in white spaces, black spaces. So I mean, how comfortable can you feel in your own identity? It doesn't get no more comfortable than that.
Well, something that I find interesting about trying to say that it's causing segregation is that there actually are a lot of communities created for Black people to have safe spaces. And because mixed people have unique experiences that are not going to be the same as somebody who's just Black or somebody who's just white, I feel like there should be a separate community or group of people. And again, it doesn't necessarily need to be separate, but just a safe space to be able to talk about those unique experiences.
Yeah, that's the whole point is to be able to talk with other biracial people because when you do talk to monoracial people, they don't understand. They tell you how to think. Like I could be like, I'm biracial. They'll be like, no, you're black because of this, and that, or no, you're white because this, and it's just the conversation doesn't go anywhere. But when I talk to a biracial person, it's just full agreement. I'm not saying they gotta agree with us, but we
Right.
don't
Well,
gaslight each other.
and it's hard because now it's getting to the point where it's so weird because now people will even take it as far as having a Black mom or having a Black dad makes you more Black, when in reality, like, I'm just as mixed if I have a white mom or a white dad. Like, for me, my mom is white, and I would say, like, no, my mom did not step up to the plate, and neither did any of like her family when it came to teaching me about my Blackness, but my dad did, you know what I mean? So I don't think like that takes away from your experience as well. But I hear that a lot. Like I've had, I think that was just like a trend on TikTok of people being like, oh, I can tell like your mom is the one that's white. And I just think that's so ridiculous. Like, I don't know, that's not your experience to make fun of, you know?
Yeah, that's the problem. Like the whole black mom is better. That came from black people. That wasn't biracial people making that up. That was black people insisting that, and some biracial people running with it. The biracial people that are pro-black, they just run with anything the black community says. So that was them pushing that divide between biracials. They always talk about stop dividing, but they're constantly trying to divide biracial people from each other. Like with the white mom and black mom thing. Why are you dividing us from each other? Why are you dividing us from other biracial people? But you sitting here saying stop dividing. Like it's contradicting. They're hypocritical.
Let me address this Florida boy real quick. Dude, first of all, let's get something straight. One, I'm mixed, but two, I will never deny my African American heritage for nobody. I'll tell you about yourself and school you along the way. Two, I will never negate my indigenous self either, because I will school you into real quick. And three, I will definitely not negate the Irish side either, because that's just pretty freaking on its own in a land far away. So no. But first of all, foremost, I grew up in Oakland. My mom was a Black Panther. Kind of proud of that. It's just one of those things.
Florida boy doesn't know what he's talking about. He said that
There you go.
that he's gonna take that we need to stop using black culture. First of all, if biracial people stop using black culture, we're taking all our contributions to it with us, which would be everything that's in.
It
Biracial people
is,
have
but the thing
contributed to
is
their
like
culture.
they contributed, but to his point, he was correct. There were people who were free that had mixed, and even in slavery, the children of the slaves were not free. They had to be bought. And the children that were either from the slaves, because of the mixing and everything else, the children were considered slaves, no matter how light. And the thing is, we come in about 50 million different colors. That's the beauty of it, of being biracial. And we do have unique experiences. It's very unique, and it's very we have different experiences than just being of one thing, because it's multiple things. I had people tell me that my dad was my stepdad, even though that was my dad. My mom used to be called my nanny because I was born with red hair. It was just one of those things. But we came out in all different colors of the rainbow. My kids come in all different colors. So the thing is that it's just a unique thing. It's nothing new. It's nothing to be ashamed of. You do have to be comfortable in your skin. And me being Gen X, I came at the tail end of the civil rights movement. So it was a lot harder in the 70s than it is in 2000. And the only thing I can say that makes it hard today and not have those experiences as a child coming up is that people are trying to go backwards instead of forwards, and you want to move forward, and it's hard to do when you have people doing
Those people will
strange
go backwards.
things.
We're gonna continue to move
Well,
forward.
yeah, you want to move forward, but what I'm saying is, when I say backwards, it's like the political spectrum of what's going on now. And the thing is, you have to have these conversations, as difficult as they may be, and you should have those conversations. You should be comfortable in your skin. You should be comfortable with who you are, and it doesn't identify you if you can celebrate everything that you're mixed with, because people in America, especially in America, you have mixed with somebody. It's inevitable. That's what happened, and that's the beauty of being here. Here, period. Because otherwise, if
All right,
we were all the
I'm gonna
same,
let
we'd
some
be
of the
boring.
new people talk that come on. TikTok or on I.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so like I agree with the whole, we should have a space for biracial people, Um, and for me personally, like, so I'm mixed with black and Mexican, right?
Yeah.
And for me, like, uh, I am more like just a little bit more Mexican than I am black, but I still appreciate and love both sides of who I am, right? And so whenever I go to like in a black space or like a Mexican space, I sort of feel not uncomfortable, but like I don't know how to like say it, uh, but like not really. I don't know how to explain it specifically, but whenever I go to like a black space or whatever, and I'm wearing like my Mexican attire, they'll like look at me a certain way, like, oh, he's like he's not one of us,
Yeah. I
Or
hear
if I
that a
go
lot
to like,
from black.
huh?
I hear that a lot from black and Mexicans that are mixed. They comment on here a lot and they say the same thing. And that's what I'm saying. You have a people, biracial people have a people and they don't know it because y'all are all saying the same thing. Y'all should be uniting
Yeah, and
to
it's
solve that
it's
issue.
and it's funny though because at my school that I go to or whatever, I've met other biracial people who are like me, like black and Mexican, and they'll be like, oh yeah, like I have the same experience, and we've been able to like bond over that, So I think it's really good.
Yeah, that's what. So for biracial people, if you don't feel like you fit in with Mexicans or blacks and that's your mix, why keep trying to fit in? Why keep trying to go in places that people are just constantly reminding you who you are and you're not wanted? Get with people that are just like you. Love yourself and love the people like you. Because that's another topic. That's for tomorrow, though. We're going to talk about acceptance. Because what is acceptance? Why do you even want to seek acceptance? You should just love yourself off from the beginning. Like, love yourself. I'm black and white biracial. I love that. To white people, like, come in and might accept it. Because let's put ourselves in their shoes. What if they came to us and asked us, can we be accepted? And we're like, and we get to dictate and determine who we want to accept. Why would you want that for your life? But oh my, you got something to say?
Yeah, so one thing I will say is that you mentioned how like people will say that black mothers are better, this and that. It's not necessarily that that is true or anything, but the reason that a lot of mixed children may feel like they don't have a safe space is because their parents did not properly socialize them with the right people. That's why a lot of mixed children with white mothers don't get that proper socialization. And statistically, it is proven that mixed children with white mothers tend to have more self identity problems, don't know where they fit in. Whereas mixed children with black mothers tend to have more of they understand they're more culturally involved because of the relationship dynamic between a black mother and a white father versus any other race. It's statistically proven that black mothers, white fathers have the highest healthy relationship standards or whatever it is. So I have realized a lot with my mixed friends that, and I will start by saying that my entire family, literally from my great grandmother, I have met her, is mixed. I will start there. And one thing great great grandmother, one thing I realized is that the thing that she went through because she was Asian and white and she grew up in Jamaica, which is a black, predominantly black area. Her on top of that and her being in a black area, her household also had racism because of her brothers fully Asian. And but she I won't say, of course I would never say that all white mothers are lacking, because that is definitely not true, but she married a black man and she raised her children to be culturally involved, and children who are raised culturally involved do not feel as though they do not belong. So it's definitely, and because I will also start saying this, that nowadays more so it is a fetishization to have mixed children, or what is it called, snow bunnies. That is
Man,
a
do you
part.
know these are all the black community's narratives? Like this has nothing to do with the biracial space.
This is not a black community narrative. I told you statistically that how it works.
All that sounds to me is that biracials with black moms are better brainwashed. They're indoctrinated better. That's all you're really saying.
How are you saying they're better brainwashed?
They're better
when I say that
indoctrinated because how? Like, what are you? We're not even black. We're mixed.
you
Like,
can't say
how do
they're
you
not.
how do you force a person to identify as just black? That's indoctrination.
That is
Because
not saying that they're.
we're
I
not
never
fully
said that
black.
they're just black. I said that black
You
mothers.
said they're better black. Okay, that's okay. There's more white mom biracials to begin with. So how does that solve
Yes,
that
because
problem?
there is a high
How does those
politicization.
statistics solve the fact of
It's not solving
biracials
the
with white
fact, but it
moms?
points out the reason why. Because statistically, there is more
And how does
fetishization
that help biracials with white moms? How is that helping anything? It's
because
not
it
helping
points
nothing. We're not
out.
solving anything. And
No,
how is
but this
that?
is the reason. I'm telling you why this happens. Because white mothers that fetishize their
Okay,
these
you pointed
children.
out that black moms are better for biracial people.
I
Now
never
what?
said they
Where
were
do we go
better,
from there?
and I even said that I would never say that white moms
You said
are not doing
statistically
just
it
as
was
well.
better, right? That's what you said.
I also brought up how my great grandmother, was mixed with white and Asian, and how she did a great job of raising her children to be culturally involved in both areas. If
Right.
anything, she
I was
lacked in this
culturally
area.
involved, and here I am.
Well, your mother or your father, whoever it was, did not properly
You
raise
know who
you to
raised
be
me? The
culturally
black
involved.
community. I grew up in all black schools, so my mom didn't even raise me. I was in the streets. I was with black people. They're the ones who raised me. They taught me black culture more than anybody, more than my white mom could. So that makes no sense. I grew up in the hood.
But you cannot say, I'm not making it. I also pointed out that
I
I'm not
literally
making
hung
it.
out in African American gangs.
Okay,
So I know black culture. I know black power.
but I never made a generalization. I just pointed out the statistics to you of why this happens.
Well,
I
I'm
never made
very
a
culturally black.
generalization.
I'm very culturally black, like you're saying. These biracials that are so culturally black. I'm very culturally black, and it's documented. It's on record that I
I
am.
never said that
But
these
I'm
biracials
listen.
that are very cultural. You're cutting me off too, but I never said that there's any biracials that are very culturally
So
black.
what was
I
your
said that they
point?
are very culturally involved with
Okay,
both
I was
cultures.
culturally involved. What is the point of that? What is the
But
point
you
of the
pointed out that
statement?
you were not culturally involved with your mother's side. You said that
The
she didn't
white
raise you.
side. I was not culturally involved in the white side. Correct.
Yeah, and that's why there's an issue a lot of the times that children who are not properly raised to be in both sides suffer with self-identity issues.
And I cured that by identifying as biracial. And that's the point of this live. I found
Yes,
the cure.
And
The
and
cure is being biracial in my own space.
and I never
yeah,
said that. I
can I
never
say something
said that.
important?
You should point out that yes, you are biracial. You are both black
I'm
and
pointing
white.
out
You
I
should
found the
never pick a
cure.
side. I never mentioned anything about picking a side. It's that you should culturally recognize both sides. Is what I've been saying
I
the
did
entire
that.
time.
Now I'm creating my own culture.
There's nothing wrong with being culturally mixed. I'm saying that people are not
Well, I'm
culturally
trying to stay on
involved.
topic. We're trying to make a point here, and that's just so irrelevant to like this space.
How?
I'm not trying to because we're trying to normalize biracial spaces for biracial people who don't fit into black or white, and you're talking about the ones who do fit in.
No, I'm
Those
not.
people are good. I'm talking about the
I'm
ones who
talking
don't.
about both sides. I brought up why one side is not feeling the culturally involvedness that they should, and that's because
We've
they're
had
not.
that conversation all on TikTok for the last 2 years.
Well, then you should understand that, and why are you
I do
saying?
understand. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is a whole different conversation.
How?
Read the title.
Yes, normalizing biracial spaces when the issue is that we should not. It should be involved.
That we shouldn't normalize biracial spaces. Is that the issue? Because that's not gonna happen. All right, next.
Can I?
Bro, this ain't a debate. Y'all, he cut her off, Lou. This is not a debate. I didn't come here to
Hello.
argue. Hello?
How are you?
I'm good.
Well, that's great. Um, I just wanted to say that I agree that you guys do need to have noise because you do have a different experience from us. Even though you were raised by Black people, you still have a different experience as a different type of Black man.
Correct. I appreciate that input. At least you get it. Somebody gets it. I know I'm not just sitting up here talking crazy like they trying to make me out in the comments.
I mean,
I get what you mean. You.
it's unfortunate some people only understand people's situation when they go through it, but some of us can see, without having to go through it.
Yeah. Um. I'm gonna ask some more people. Go ahead. Whoever want to talk.
Oh, also you said something interesting earlier. Earlier you were like I think you said like Black moms are mainly the ones who like brainwash their kids to be Black or something like that.
I don't know because they're saying that Black moms involve their kids in the culture more, and I don't really know what that's supposed to mean. So I'm just assuming that
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
they mean they indoctrinated them more because that's all it really means at the end of the day. Because if you're a white mom and you want your kid to be your biracial kid, like why is it okay for Black moms to want their biracial kid to be culturally Black, but it's not okay for white moms to teach their kids how to, since they got proximity and privilege to whiteness, like they'll say we got proximity and privilege to whiteness, but white moms can't teach their kids how to move around white people. Like it's just not making sense to me. Like you say that we have
Yeah.
privilege, so they must be accepting us in some type of form or way.
Yeah, and like for me, because as I grew up with around Black people, and I was raised by my Black mom or whatever, right? And she would like acknowledge that, okay, you're mixed, you're Latino or whatever, you're Mexican, but we're not gonna focus on that side. You're only Black here, and that's all you basically just are, right? And I'd be like, oh, okay, like I guess, So whenever I went to like my Mexican side of the family or whatever, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm not really Mexican. I'm just Black, my mom said. And like so growing up, it was just like I didn't need crisis. Oh, what are you mixed with? What are you mixed with? I'm just Black. And then other people would be like, oh no, you got an accent a little bit. It's like what? So, and then like what you said earlier, like finding that, like creating your own identity, biracial, finding that piece. That's where I found mine. Saying okay,
So it worked for you and it worked for me. That's two biracial people right there. So this we're not just making this up. Like this is real. But I'm gonna let you down so I can let some more people up. Okay. I
All right,
appreciate
cool.
your input.
Bye.
Yep. All right, who want to go next?
I'll go next.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So the first thing I do want to understand is that what is Blackness and what is whiteness?
I don't know. You got to ask Black people and white people that because I'm biracial.
But how? Okay. So in the context of being like in America, right? There's no Black, white, and biracial. It's Black and white. There's
In America?
Yes. Because,
Yeah, I know that. That's why the title is Normalize. It's biracial spaces because it's not normal.
But
right? It's only Black and white.
Listen, I mean, I understand. Like, as I'm Afro Latino, right? My mother, she's like light skinned Dominican. My father, he's like white skinned Dominican, and now I have 4C hair, and I'm like pale skin. So growing up, I had a lot of different experiences. I grew up in a lot of different communities around a lot of different types of people. And I always felt like I had this very individual experience because there was really no space to really fit in. I guess that's why a lot of biracial people or just mixed people have a lot of like identity issues because it's just like, yeah, like you always feel like you're not enough of something. But in the context of this in America, it's like, it's not like, oh, you're this own thing necessarily, like racially. It's always against, or not against, but it's always a comparison between black or white. So it's like, as I'm a
Yeah,
black,
that's what we're trying to do.
as a
Like,
mixed person, we're still considered black, because in the black community we're accepted way more than we are in the white community.
yeah,
It's
we
never,
already know that. We already know that. The
and
whole
I
point.
understand that we know that. I understand that we know that, but we can't be acting like there's like this like difference, like, oh, we're this own different being of
Yeah,
people.
we
Like,
can do
we're
that. That's
still
the
black
thing. We're
people.
trying to tell you that we can do that. And that's what we're doing. We're challenging this America's binary racial system because everything's not in black and white. There's gray areas. We're the
Can
middle
I
race.
But
can I ask a
Hey, can
question?
I ask a question? Oh, you got it. You got it.
Go ahead.
Would this biracial space only be for biracial people that are black and white, or would it be just biracial in general?
I mean, that's a good question because we really ain't got that far yet. But for right now, I'm speaking as a black and white biracial person. There's other biracial people, like a guy just came up here and said he was Mexican and black, and he had the same experience as the black and white biracials, but with his type of mixture. So it's the biracial umbrella. There's a biracial umbrella, but then within that is the races. Like biracial is not a race, but the types that's within the biracial are races, like Blasian and mulattoes, which is a slur now. But those two are races, their own races within an umbrella. So the space is technically, this space right here is for black and white biracials. The other biracials, I don't want to speak for them. I think they should make their own space because, Mexican culture is different than white and black culture. So I can't really speak for that. Same with the Asian culture. So
Hey, can I ask a question right quick,
yeah.
brother? Yeah, so when y'all say that black moms were more likely to brainwash or claim that they're other on one side, it's like it seems like people are mad at their black mom for not teaching them about their other side. But why wouldn't you have a problem with whoever the parent is that you're missing that side of your heritage? Why is it, oh, my black mom's saying I'm only black? Well, she can only teach you from a black perspective. She's not white. She's not Mexican. She's not Chinese. Like, why don't you take that up with your other parents instead of try to say all black moms are out here brainwashing their mixed children? I really didn't
I
get
mean,
that.
yeah, that's good. I'm glad you said that. I shouldn't have said brainwash. Like that's a better way to put it. So yeah, thanks for you coming up here and saying that. Like this, the point of having conversations. Like you adding stuff to the conversation. Like there's people just coming up here, just want to disagree, be dismissive, and put down like this biracial thing we got going on. But we want to better, when we have conversations, we want to better explain things too. So yeah, I wouldn't say that black moms are brainwashing their biracial kids because she can only teach them blackness or her blackness. But that's the same thing with white moms and biracials though. Why would you expect a white woman to teach their biracial kid about blackness, right?
No, I get that because I got a mixed child. You know what I'm saying? My daughter have Mexican. You know what I'm saying? I'm all the way black, but you know what I'm saying? I feel like, of course, you never make a person choose. And what I feel like a lot of this conversation is like y'all are letting other people tell you like, oh, you're this or you're that. That's like, I ain't trying to be funny, but like that's like somebody walking in the subway and be like, hey, you're a burger restaurant. Like, why are y'all actually in real life letting people tell y'all like what y'all are, or why don't you just live and be who you is? Like, I don't really get that.
I mean, in real life, people don't. When I tell somebody I'm mixed, they don't question. I don't have these conversations. It's only online, really. Like people accept me as me. Like people don't really care. They'll be like, like I already knew that. Basically, like they'll say the world sees you as black, but they don't because most people know I'm mixed when they see me. And usually people ask you what you're mixed with. So how the hell is it not a phenotype?
Yeah, and can I ask you, was you raised by both your parents, or was you raised by like one side of the
I was
spectrum?
raised by both,
Okay.
both
So do you
sides.
do you think like one parent had more of a like an input in like how you was raised? Do you feel more black or do you feel more white or
I grew up thinking I was black, but like I grew up black, thinking I was black. I used to identify as black like a lot of biracial people. It was just like maybe 3 years ago, just recently I started saying I was biracial.
Yeah, I ain't mixed, but I just feel
like I always knew I was mixed, but it didn't. When I had conversations, it just didn't make. It was no point in me even bringing that up. Like I would just say, I'm like when it came to political shit, you just say you're black, right? Like we already know we mixed. We already aware of that. People know we mixed. It's like when you just having a friendly, genuine conversation with people, you just like, yeah, I'm mixed. We always knew I'm mixed. But when it came down to political shit, yeah, we was black.
yeah, because I feel like you can't turn your blackness off. Like bro, like RG strong. So your black side is gonna show like that's not something you can put away. So like my question is always like, is it the same from your white side? Because I've been listening like on and off for like what, however long this has been going. And like a lot of people come up here and say, oh, black people, they don't accept me, blase, blase. But like what
No,
is it like
black
from
people
the other
accept me for
side
sure. And this see people I got a different mindset and a different narrative than a lot of biracial people. Like for me, it's not about acceptance. I'm trying
though?
to I'm trying to be a king of my own castle type shit. Like I don't it's more I don't want to take away a black man's image because I don't represent the face of blackness. Like a black I'm not dark skinned. I know like we come in all shades, but
Man, we all flavors though. That's what I'm saying. See,
okay,
that sound crazy to me though.
but it's different though. Like I'll never be at the top of the hierarchy in the black community just because the fact I'm half white.
Like when you say hierarchy, like what you mean by that though?
Like it's levels like in blackness. Like if it's deeper than that, and I'm not gonna get into
Man,
this
it
on
ain't.
here.
It's really not, bro. Like you feeling that? Like you putting that shit on yourself. Like when you walk in
Well,
a
put it
room.
like this: me saying I'm biracial has gave me way more power than me saying I'm black, and it has nothing to do with whiteness or none of that. It's just the power of being yourself and
What?
self acceptance. Self acceptance is really being biracial. So it's
what
not about me looking for acceptance no more. Like I'm not trying to when I move to a new state, I don't want to have to prove like, yeah, I'm not just some half white man coming up in here to infiltrate shit. Like you gotta when you move it, you get around new people, you gotta they don't know you. They don't know what you bring in. Like they like, damn, this a real smart, intelligent man. But how I know he ain't being sent by white supremacy? I don't want to keep going through that shit. I'd rather just be biracial and proud, biracial and power. Because everywhere I go, I'm gonna be biracial. Even if I show up in a new location, I'm gonna still be biracial.
Do you have a connection to the white community? Like, do you mix up and like do you get down with that side? Like, do you have anything to do with I don't know the
I
white
don't have
community?
no connection with them. Like if some shit was to go down, I'm fucked.
Whoa, what you mean by that though? What you mean by that?
I'm saying biracial people got no connection to white people at all, and we know this.
For sure, for sure.
Gentlemen, if it's okay if I interject really quick, and I appreciate being able to talk. So there was someone in the comments that was talking about, I believe they said they were Alaska Indigenous adopted. So that really kind of brought a thought to me and kind of intertwined with some things that y'all were saying earlier. So let's just kind of think about this situation. Say you are, and this is true for the Black community, for the Indigenous community, and even for, the Caucasian community. However, if we're talking about, say, the foster care system or the adoption business, and I'm going to call it a business because it is, a lot of children of color or biracial children or white children are placed in homes that are not maybe of their same racial makeup. Like in my case, of course, I'm Indigenous and Caucasian, and I was adopted to a German/French family. That family was extremely racist. They withheld my cultural identity, but when I started asking about it, they denied it. But what I noticed in retrospect was that all through my life, they really ingrained a lot of racism towards the Native American community. So when I connected with my biological family, when I then became a member of my tribe, when I connected with my culture, me being what people say white presenting, when they heard me speak my tribal language, they're like, I had doubts that you were even indigenous, but your
Man, I
dialect
don't
is
mean to cut you
tribal.
off, but that all stems from the 5% Indians when there was white people infiltrating that whole Native American thing when they were saying that they were native and they really weren't, just to get like land and own stuff that was meant for natives. For examples, if they was to give reparations to black people, you'll have white people claiming that they're 5% black and all this other stuff to get what's meant for black people. So that's really where that stems from. But anybody else want to come up or talk?
Hey, that was crazy.
But I was just going to say that the point, also, a lot of people don't recognize the difference between race and ethnicity. If we stop classifying ourselves as race and went more so into our ethnicity, we would realize that there's more people out there going through the same struggles as we are than we think. Because we classify ourselves by race, which is not...
Which is,
a lot of people feel
you know,
comfortable with that.
do we live in America? And white
Yes, in
people are the
America,
majority and they classify as a race and they hold the most power. So all this other stuff y'all keep talking about is irrelevant. Like biracial is its own race because we're playing the game that white supremacy made. It's either you
so
get
yeah,
in,
and
you
you're
get in where
playing
you
into
fit
that.
in. You get in where
You're
you
playing.
fit in and you play the
You're playing
game.
into that by saying
Yeah, you
that
gotta
because
play
white
into
is
it.
the
What are you talking about? If you
majority
don't play
race.
into it, you lose.
But that's not the best way to go about considering that as
Why
the
you
person
think?
that was
Why
just
you
up here.
think? Why you think there's such thing as black power? Why you think that's a movement? Because they're playing the game to battle white supremacy, the race.
There's black power because yes, exactly,
Right.
because
So
black people are,
biracial people are doing the same thing as black people did.
and I brought up that point earlier that biracial people, they wouldn't have to go through that if they were better socialized and understand that there are people that will accept them. They don't have to feel outcasted.
Look, you're a woman. We don't want to be accepted. We want to be
That
kings of our own kingdom. You go look for acceptance. You go knock on their door and
you
ask if
literally
you can come
talked
in.
about being accepted. You said playing into the white supremacy. I
I
never
didn't
talked
say
about
I
anything
wanted to be
about being...
accepted. I'm accepting myself as biracial. I'm not looking for acceptance.
Yes, and I told you, and
What
I
if I
said
walked
there
up to
is
you and was
nothing
like,
wrong
man, will you
with
accept
saying that
me?
you are
Will
biracial.
you
There is
accept
nothing
me?
wrong with recognizing both sides. We should always recognize both sides of it. Whenever people ask me what I am, I never straight up, because they will assume African American. That is not correct, as I am not African American. I'm Caribbean. And we should always recognize ethnicity over race, because race is what segregates people. Ethnicity will tend to bring people together because more people
Race
realize
doesn't
they have...
segregate people. Segregation
Can
is
I
over.
can I ask you a question, ma'am?
Yeah.
Were you born in America?
Yes.
That would make you Black American, not necessarily African
That is
American.
not true, because both my
See, you're not
parents
even on
are
board
Caribbean.
with black Americans.
Both
So
my
you're saying it's
parents
not true.
are
You're not even
immigrants,
on board.
and I'm
But
classified as Caribbean.
But if you're born in America, that would be your nationality. So you would still be American.
Yes, but my ethnicity is Caribbean. There's a difference between nationality, race, and ethnicity. I am
So
African
we're speaking on
American,
race, though.
so
We're
but I
speaking
can
on race
you're
always...
as you
segregating
they're
something out.
different.
You're talking about me saying I'm biracial, separation, segregation, which whatever you
No,
want
I
to say.
said that we
But
should
when black
recognize
Americans
being
tell you
biracial. I never said that
how
was
they
segregation.
identify in America, you tell them no and separate yourself that you're Caribbean and all this other shit.
I never said that I'm separating myself. I said that it's good
I didn't
to
either,
classify
but you was telling me
yourself.
that I was. I don't
Yes,
even know why I
because
let you back
I said
up,
that
bro.
because...
I don't even know
Yeah,
why I let her back up.
she's speaking on a different thing, which is fine, but it's a different conversation.
Yeah, I
It's
don't know.
just you can be Black
I
American, you
think
can be
she just
Caribbean
needs to
American, you
understand.
can
She
be
should
those
listen.
things. They're
Like
different.
she shouldn't talk. She should listen because I don't think she understands the depth of this conversation.
Yeah.
But who want to talk?
Okay,
Can
what
I
I
ask?
have to
Who?
say
Oh, sorry.
is
Go ahead.
that so my whole family is, biracial, Asian, white, native, black, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really depends on what you look like because you look if you see us all together, we all look different. You know what I mean? Like when people see me, they don't see black or white. They see, oh, what are you? Oh,
Right.
you're not just one thing. What are you? Because of the way I look.
So how do you identify?
I put biracial. I don't put oh, and I don't put oh, I'm just black. Oh, I'm just white, because that's not what I look like.
All right. Oh, what's her name? Do you have a question?
Oh yeah,
No.
sorry, I did. When you say biracial, how would you identify it? As, like those people, like people aren't necessarily first generation biracial, where it's exactly one black parent, one white parent. How far back would they be able to go for them to be accepted into these biracial spaces? Because a lot of
That's
black
up to
Americans
them.
are mixed.
This is if you fit it. I feel like fit in where you get in. I think everything natural. Like I'm not trying to dictate nothing. Like everything should be natural. Like if like there's biracial people who naturally don't fit in white or black, so they just like me. We just say we're biracial, and then there's people who fit in black. Like they feel comfortable there, and they just say they black. And there's people that say they white, and they just fit there. Like I just feel like if you fit there, just get in where you fit in. Like when biracial people establish their race, it's just like it goes like instead of saying I'm black or white, it's like you're gonna be saying I'm black or biracial, and I feel like that's better than saying oh I'm black or I'm white. It should be I'm black or I'm biracial. Like you should fit in one of those two. You shouldn't like why go all the way to white when they don't even accept. They create the one drop rule basically.
Which is true. But I'm just saying to say that because a lot of black Americans are mixed, even if it's a few generations back. They technically aren't fully black. A lot of people in America aren't fully anything because there's been so much mixing throughout the
Right, but
generations
they're
and throughout the
comfortable. They're
years.
comfortable fitting being black though, right? And if they're not, they could be biracial. Like, what's the problem if they're like you say technically biracial?
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Who doesn't fit into black or white if they're biracial? Because I feel like speaking as a biracial woman, I can fit. There's certain white people that just assume like I'm white, and there's certain black people that I meet that just assume I'm black. There's like no question about it. So I guess I don't get what you mean by like normalizing biracial spaces, because I feel like I've never had that issue.
Well, you ain't been around much because there's racist white people that exist.
No, I know that.
Like, white people are not a monolith, so not all white people are gonna accept biracial people. Not all black people are monoliths, so not all black people are gonna accept biracial people.
I know, but like saying that is like, okay, black people can experience racism too, not just biracial people. You get what I mean? So I guess it's like if you're saying like, okay, they don't fit into white, you could say the same thing about black people. So wouldn't that mean you fit in with the black? Like that doesn't make any sense.
No, because I don't fit in with black or white. I fit in
How do you not fit
biracial.
in with black or white?
Because I don't.
But
I
how?
don't. Because I just don't.
In what situations, though, if I can understand?
When I look in the mirror, when I think about life, when I think about politics, I don't fit into blackness. I fit
feel
into
like
what I'm
that
telling you.
is-
Everything coming out my mouth, that's what I fit into. And y'all
I
not
feel-
comprehending that for some reason.
I feel like
yeah, that's what I'm asking you to elaborate. Like, okay, based on how you look, like I don't understand. What do you
Everything,
mean?
like the whole existence of it.
I have a
I feel like
question.
there's a lot of like internalized racism going on with you, bud, because
Okay, let's take your perspective.
just be
I'm
honest.
me saying I'm biracial and I want a biracial space. Let's go from your perspective. Let's say it is internalized racism. So what caused that? How could a biracial person be internalized racist? So you telling me that I hate myself?
I think a lot of the time it can be from environment, like even environment growing up, like
Like what
hearing
environment?
people.
Because I grew up in all black communities.
Okay, so you grew up in an all-black community, which means that did like someone say something racist towards you? Did someone make you feel like you wouldn't belong?
You said that I have internalized racism.
And I'm asking you, like, was
Nobody
there an
said nothing
experience?
to me. Do you think I'm that fragile? Do you think
So
I give a
if
fuck what
nobody
people
said
say?
anything
I
to
haven't gave a
you,
fuck about one thing one
if
motherfucker on
nobody
this
said
platform
anything
said.
to you, if nobody said anything to you, then it sounds like internalized racism. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, it's that. Why would you
I'm
want me
just
in black space if
asking.
I'm internalized racist? If I'm a biracial person who's racist, why would you want to push me into a black space? Please explain that.
I don't think anyone's trying to push you into a black space. I just think it's sad that
So,
you don't feel like you fit in anywhere, because I don't think anyone should ever feel like that.
well, too bad. I'm here and I feel good being in a biracial space.
I
So
have a
you're okay with me being feeling good in a black space, but you're not okay with me feeling good in a biracial space? Why?
Honestly, the way that you're speaking about how you're feeling in your quote unquote biracial space, you sound like you hate yourself. I'm just gonna be honest.
So if
You
I
just
said I was
don't
black,
talk
I
about
wouldn't
it.
sound like I hate
You
myself?
don't. You if it didn't bother you, you wouldn't be making this live right now.
If I said I was black, it wouldn't sound like I hate myself, right?
If you were comfortable with it, you wouldn't be making this live right now.
I know that's what I'm saying. It's not
So
normal for me to
clearly
want to
you
be
have feelings
biracial.
about it.
You're
So
you're
clearly you have
making the point
feelings,
of
and
this live. Normalize
you
biracial
just
spaces.
you just said there shouldn't be black and white, it should be black and biracial. So you have feelings about this. And then you're sitting here telling me like, "Oh, I'm happy as can be." Okay, then don't make a live about it. You want
No,
to hear
because
other
I'm trying to
opinions?
bring other biracial people in who feel like me. I see them and I want them to come to the space because they're just like me.
Okay, is there
so I
anyone else on the panel just like me?
what would a biracial community look like?
It would look like white communities, black communities, Asian communities, Latin communities, LGBTQ communities, fucking frisbee
Okay,
communities,
but
PS5
like
communities.
okay, that's just you're just saying the names, but like what would it have in it? Like what would be the message, the impact, or the lifestyle, culture?
Biracial people have
Because
to
like
come up together and create that. That doesn't exist yet.
because your guys is technically like like as far as culture, where you come from type of thing, it would be both sides of it. So it would be, you guys can't necessarily
Humans been
create.
creating culture. How you think the black culture was created? Humans created it. People came together and created it. Biracial people could do the same shit.
That's why I think it gets confusing because there are so many different types of biracial. So that's why I
I'm
feel
talking about
like
black and white biracial.
so your
I,
group would only include black and white biracials. It would be its own segregated group.
it wouldn't identity wise, yeah.
Okay, so you just want to have a black and white biracial group.
Because America is black and white. There's what other groups are you talking about?
I
What
have
the
something to
two
say.
dominant societies in America is black and white.
But there are still other races that also exist within
I
America,
do agree
even though
with
those
Okay,
aren't named
when we talk
because
about black and white biracials, we always bring up, well, what about these people? What about these people?
Okay, but that's what I'm saying.
When
But
we
in
talk
your
about black
biracial,
issues, we don't do that to y'all. So why are you doing that to us? We
okay,
don't be like,
which is
what about
fine. No,
the Asians? They
I'm
get
agree.
beat too.
I'm
Like,
agreeing with you. You can have that biracial black and white space, but I'm asking what exactly would exist within there. Like, what would be y'all's
Right,
main
because y'all thing
issues?
would be whatever you're mixed with.
I'm not a dictator.
because even
When
if you
biracial
are
people come
black
together,
and white,
when we make
you
our
can be
space,
from you can have Latin roots. That white person could be a white Dominican, a white Colombian.
and we'll be telling them the
They're
same
still black or
thing
white,
black people
but
tell them
yet
people.
but yet
Y'all are from the Caribbeans. We are from America.
So you basically just want to distance yourself from both communities, correct? That's the
I wouldn't
whole.
say distance. I'd rather have race relations with both communities.
Because you would have to take parts of those cultures with
Because
you
at the end of the day, I got
to
a black family. Biracial people have black families. They're gonna continue to have black families within their household. So we can't just all this people talking about segregating and all this other stuff.
But you naturally have a connection to both communities. So what you're seeking is a division. You already you
Yeah,
have
a division,
the
but
connection. You want the division.
a constructive division, not a division of hate like white people had or blue vein societies or mulattoes. A division of alliance, just like in the military, there's different divisions, but they're all in the same alliance. They're all Americans. At the end of the day, there's white people, black people, biracial people. We're all in the same unity of Americans, right? It's just a division within a nation, but we're all in the same nation.
But I feel like the reason we have these certain communities, whether it be black or white, is because a lot of us share the same experiences. So what are the experiences that y'all would share that would be so specifically just for
two
black and white
biracial
biracials?
people.
The experience would be the title. I don't fit into black or white. If you're biracial and you feel that way, then this is your space. It's that simple and that
Well,
easy.
but
Are you
what does
going
that
by
space
the
contain?
It don't contain shit. It's
So
new.
what would
We
be the
just
point of
created it
it?
like last. This is new.
Are you going by skin
You've
color
never
or are
seen
you
a live
going
like
by
this. This is how
culture?
new it is. You're witnessing the creation of biracial black and white people right in front of your very own eyes.
I'm so confused.
Okay, so like I get like I've heard a lot of biracial people saying like they don't fit in either or they don't fit in one side versus the other, and like they have identity issues, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a
But
crisis.
yeah.
That's what they call it. It's like an identity crisis. That's what they call it.
Sorry, but sorry, I lost my train of thought now.
Because it's like my great grandmother was white. My grandfather was biracial, black and white, but he identified as black. He grew up, early 50s.
It was a
or
different
whatever
era
country.
though. I ain't gonna lie. Like there's a different area. There was no social media.
And he
to
was
make this
accepted by
happen.
black people. He was raised
I was accepted by
black.
people too.
Exactly. So I'm trying to understand why you seek this division when the community
Because man, I'm gonna tell you something. There's serial killers who accept people.
Okay, but I'm
Acceptance
going off
don't mean
what
shit.
the way you titled this live. You
Like,
said
we're
who
not
don't fit
seeking
into black and
acceptance.
white spaces.
We're gonna have
But
that
you did
conversation
fit into a
tomorrow. We're
black
gonna have
space.
a whole topic about biracial being
I
accepted.
have a question for the host.
Yes.
So, just backtracking a few steps, I'm thinking about this. If we were to have a biracial space, which would be me included, if this worked how you wanted it to be, and I was like, okay, I just don't feel like I fit in either or. What would make someone biracial in your eyes? Because there's some biracial women that I know that just looking at them, you would not even know they're biracial unless you asked. Like you specifically asked that
So
question.
I'm gonna ask you the same
So
question. What makes somebody black? If you
no, don't flip
if
it on me. I'm
there's
asking you. I'm asking
it's
you
the
a
same
genuine question.
thing.
Like in your
Because
biracial
I feel like the
area,
only way I can get you to understand is if I can get you to something
the only way
compared
you
to
can get
something
me to
you already
understand
understand.
is how I'm explaining it, which is saying, can you answer my question? What would be biracial to you if someone like literally looked completely white, but they were biracial? Would you push them out of that space?
I mean, they're not gonna be the face of biracialness. Why would they be? They look
So
white.
you're separating
What?
people. Then it's not actually about being
I'm not
biracial. You're
separating
just
them.
wanting separation.
They could be accepted just like how black people accept us. Biracial could accept white
Okay,
passing people, but they
biracial
look white.
people.
Listen to yourself. You just
Oh
said they
my
look
god,
white.
bro.
Hold on.
You don't
Does
I
white
have
not have a
something to
look?
say.
Does,
I feel like
does white not have a look? Does white not have a look?
This
I
dude's
have something to
clowning.
say.
Does white have
If
not have a
it's a
look?
space for biracial people,
They could
it
be
shouldn't
accepted.
matter what they look like on the
It don't.
outside.
They could be accepted, but there's still a face of biracialness.
Like my aunt, her mother is white and her dad is black, but she's dark skinned.
Right.
She's biracial, but she is on the phenotypically she looks like a dark skinned lady.
Right.
So
So
it
so how
doesn't
can you
matter
like?
if she
She,
looks
we
white, if she looks
we
black,
accept dark skinned
she's
biracials,
biracial.
white passing biracials.
That's
We
it.
accept them. We accept them.
You can't change
We
your
accept them.
DNA.
We
You
accept them.
accept them, but they're not the face of the
Just like
community.
black people accept us, but we're not the face of blackness.
So what would the face be then for the biracial community? Like what would the
Whatever the
face be?
majority look is.
100 different people.
Exactly, because biracial is giving you so many different looks. There's like no
Okay,
one
but there's
look
a
that you can
majority
do.
look. The majority wins.
Bro,
That's a false narrative. You're just you're
Bro.
claiming like that light skin typical when people think mixed light skin
Yeah.
curly hair.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
That's a standard.
kind of a
That's
wide
how you
That's
know
not
people are
the
mixed.
standard.
How? When that's who you always ask people what you're mixed with.
Bro, generations
You don't
from
ask
now,
a
even
dark
like a
skinned
couple,
person what do you mix with. You
a
don't
few
ask a white
generations
passing
from now, the
person what you mix with.
biracial people are gonna look so different. 'Cause it's gonna be biracial with biracial people, which
So
will
it's
have
gonna
like
change. So then that
15
means
different
in
type
generations
of.
the black phenotype is gonna change.
Majority
saying,
of
because
people
black
So
people
you
nowadays
want to erase out the black
do
people?
not date inside their race, which creates more biracial people and more
What?
biracial people. At the end of the day, everybody at some point
So
is going to
basically what y'all
be
saying is biracial is the new black.
No.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
we're
why
saying a
not?
lot of black Americans in
We're
general have
saying
already been
If
mixed.
everybody's
a lot of
if
people are
everybody's
getting with other
identified as
races.
black,
That's what
that
we're
means
saying.
that if everybody's identified as black, who's the face of blackness?
There is no face. There's no one look. There's no one way to look as
There's
black.
different types of black people.
So
And
then
you can
why
still
why
we're still
so
accepted
why are
as
we
black.
so then how does colorism exist?
Bro, what?
If there's no look.
To being biracial?
That has nothing to do with what black is.
Going off of that, where you're saying, oh, if it has no look, colorism mostly leads back to the quote unquote light skin, which is like light eyes, curly hair, light skin.
And what is that?
So
That's a look.
you're saying that would be the look of biracial people, right?
Obviously.
Obviously.
And
Okay, so then I
that
could
gives black people their own space.
That
gives dark skin
that's
black
biracial, he's
people their
live, but you
own
can't be the
space.
face of it unless you have light eyes and you have curly, beautiful hair and very
Nobody
light
said all
skin.
that. Nobody
Has to
said
be
all
a
that.
certain color of skin.
Nobody said all
related
that. Nobody
to
said
the
that.
beauty standard of
Biracial
what
comes in many
somebody should look
phenotypes.
like.
There's many
But you
different
only want to accept one phenotype. Like to you, the standard is.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. You're misunderstanding. There's a lot of looking white people, but you know when you see a white person, you don't be like, oh, are they white? But there's white people with red hair, purple hair, blue hair, black hair, and you still know they're white. Right? Even when they tan, you still know they're white.
And that would be difficult to find out with biracial people.
How? How? When y'all talk about colorism, you know who's light skinned. You know all these other things. When y'all want to talk about biracial people, you all of a sudden know who we are.
No, because there's black people. There's black people that are black but are light skinned, but people would think, oh, they're biracial because they're light skinned, because people think like having light skin equals being black and white or
All right,
being black
so
and
there's no
this or
biracial.
whatever.
Look, back
So
to the
I just feel like
conversation.
it doesn't,
Normalizing biracial spaces for biracial people who don't fit in black or white.
because
There's
that
no
goes into
black
like,
look. There's no biracial look.
okay, I just feel like all the cultures that are like divided, whether it's black, Hispanic, whatever it is like to a certain extent is based on the skin color. And you're gonna be treated based on the skin color. So you can be biracial, but if you look more black, you're gonna get treated like a black person
All
by
right, so
society.
then why are you asking me where do they fit?
Because based on the live, you're stating it as a way they don't fit into black or white. But
Who is
you were
they? I'm talking about for myself.
that's you
This
named
is-
the
this
live.
live-
That's what I'm saying. You started the live as if they don't fit in. That's literally what you put on the screen. But you fit into the black community. You were raised in the black community. You can't say you didn't fit in
Because
it.
you're not understanding. I don't fit
Okay, then
in
you're not
like
explaining
me.
it good enough.
Yeah, you need to explain it better
All right,
because
look, I don't
it's a
fit
false
in, meaning
narrative.
that y'all accept me,
Okay.
but I don't fit in there.
In what
you
way?
understand?
Yeah.
And I don't. Okay, like if
So you're saying
let's say like
Let him talk. I want to hear him talk.
let's say like you take like a shark and you put it in with a dolphin. The dolphin could accept the shark. That don't mess with him seeing that he feel like that's his people. Like he don't.
You're
feel
using
like
an
he fit it
analogy.
in.
I want to give me a firsthand experiences of what you in a way that you don't feel you fit into a black space. Like a firsthand from your experience, not an animal.
I don't.
Completely different
Okay, I'm
situation.
gonna give you an example. Like when I talk to you right now, all I'm doing is not being understood. All I'm doing
Oh
is
my
just
God.
talking and oh, she eating you up. Oh, like it's like there's no understanding.
She's asking
I'm
in
talking
terms
to
of
y'all.
like the
Yeah, I'm trying to
Right, there's too
understand.
many questions. When I talk to biracial people, there's no questions. They, yeah, I get it.
She's
Oh my God, I
she's
really
biracial and she
understand.
don't understand. How do you
Because
say
she
that?
identifies as black.
Trinity?
Of course she don't understand. I'm talking about,
let me say
read the
this.
title. Biracial people who don't fit into black or white. She
Correct.
fits into black. So of course she don't understand. She's
No,
talking,
I'm
so you
trying
don't
fit
to
into the black
understand. I
community.
completely okay. I completely hear you.
don't fit in.
How? That's all I'm asking.
What?
As a person, I'm just trying like as
Because
this is your
I
live.
don't know
wanna
how. I don't know how. I just know it's just something you know
Okay,
internally.
then maybe figure it out
I
and
don't know
then
how.
do the
I'll
live.
figure
Can I
it out
say
and tell you,
something?
but for
Can
now,
I say
I know I
something?
don't fit in.
Can I
Can I
say
ask you a
something,
question?
co-host?
Yes.
I don't know who you said yes to.
Whoever got something to say.
Okay, I just want to point out something. I have primarily fit in with white people growing up because I grew up in like a more conservative town. I wasn't really around like black people until I'm older. But I haven't felt accepted from my biological black family because of the fact that my hair isn't as curly, my skin isn't as dark, and I just didn't grow up around like the same environment and culture that they grew up in. Okay, like they always made comments about it. They always made comments about how I'm so whitewashed. I'm not even I'm not even a part of them and blah blah blah. But them saying that never once made me feel like I wasn't accepted by the black community. Like never once. So I don't know why you feel like because you don't fit in with those people that you grew up with, that means that the black community doesn't accept you. Because I don't think that's true.
They do accept us. I never said that. They don't
Then why do you
accept
feel
us
like you don't fit in if they accept you? Because you're not the
because
face of
there's,
it?
bruh.
Why do you need to be
What
the
do you
face
think
of it?
acceptance is? You think acceptance is always a good thing?
What?
Yes?
Yeah.
Why would you
Okay,
not?
so if somebody pulls up in a van and says, "I accept you, you can get in. Like you're with me. You're one
What
of
the
us."
fuck?
You gonna jump in that bitch? Okay, so
Terrible
when a group of people saying they accept
You like
biracial
candy?
people, when people are accepting biracial people, that don't mean they're getting treated right.
I can't.
I don't think you feel comfortable in your community.
I'm being serious.
Oh my god.
I think it's just your
So when you
community
get
that you don't fit
accepted,
in.
I gotta take a
what comes with that? What comes with
I'm
that?
sorry.
Mute yourselves and then laugh.
What comes with that? When y'all get accepted, when you biracial people get accepted by black people, what comes with that?
You
What
get
do
accepted
do?
into the culture.
You get
It
accepted
basically
in the
means you would
culture
be receiving the same
to
treatment
do
as
what?
anyone else
To
in that
do
group.
what? To be
So
social
say if I was
slaves?
say as a black person, I was accepted into the white community, I would be receiving the same treatment they get if I had a job application with the same,
No, you're gonna be a
the
token
same
black
merits.
person.
That would be
You're gonna be
acceptance.
getting
I'm being
used.
treated on an
You're gonna
equal
be getting
plane.
used. You're gonna be getting
That's not
used.
being accepted.
That
She's
would be
saying she
them
was
accepting me
accepted.
to that as an equal.
You're gonna use. They're gonna take everything you could
That's
say,
not being
Then
everything
I'm
you
not
could
being
think.
accepted.
Right.
What are you not understanding? That
That's
would mean I'm being treated differently. That would
okay.
mean
Then,
I'm
so I
not being
guess we're not accepted then.
I have a question for the
We know
Okay, so
I'm not
how?
accepted.
How?
What are you talking about?
Man, look, I'm not finna keep explaining this shit to y'all. Y'all either you could
Okay.
read the
You
fucking
know,
This is the
title.
point of
I guess
life.
I guess I just don't understand because if you're biracial and you have curly hair,
I
like
feel
let's
like
say
y'all
you
never gonna understand. So I
no
just
no
want
no
to talk to people who already
let's say that
understand.
you have like tight curls, like a very like certain type of curl that white people literally can't be born with biologically. Who are you gonna go to? Your little biracial community. Hey guys, like what do I do for my hair? Where are they gonna go? The black
Man, shut
community
your
because
dumb ass up.
they have
The
more
fuck is you
education
talking
on.
about? She talking about curly hair and all this other bullshit. Go buy a hair straightener. I don't want to hear that bullshit.
Like, I feel like even like literally as a black person, I just fully want to understand the space that you want to create. Like I understand you said you don't fit in a black, you don't fit in a white. But
I have
again,
a
like as a
question.
person, like personally, I don't want to understand how you didn't fit into that black, into the black community. Where how are you not fitting in? You haven't
I mean,
explained
you're
it
never
yet.
gonna understand. That's
But you
so it's
haven't.
cool.
I'm
Just let's
trying
leave
to
it there. How
understand.
about
You
you
explained
can't?
it.
It's like when white people try to understand what you be talking about and they just can't. It's just
But
the
can you
same shit.
explain? I can say things as a black person. I can
I can't
say
explain
things
it. It's
about.
just something you know, something you feel. It's just a biracial thing. Maybe it's not for you
If
to know.
I can
anything,
give you
black
examples
people would
of me not being
understand
accepted in
what
the white
that's like.
spaces. I can give you clear, distinct examples
Yeah.
of racial profiling,
Biracial
of
people are
racism across
not
the board.
good at explaining. We're not good at
Why are you
this
putting them in that category? That I think.
because that's just how we are. We're
Like I'm,
so used to people talking for us,
but that's
telling
what I'm
us
saying.
how to speak and
We're trying
say.
to have an
Then
understanding. Like,
stand up.
Biracial people don't know how to speak for themselves.
okay, that's why I'm
Stand
asking you
up.
for a first-hand experience of.
I'm
I'm
biracial.
not
I
asking
know how
for
to
a
speak for
general.
myself.
I'm not trying to get you to speak for the whole community. Just you as yourself. What
Yeah.
did you experience in your life that made you feel you did not fit in? As you stated for this live, you titled the live that you don't fit into white and black. And as a person of the black community, how did you not fit into the black community firsthand? Not speaking generally for the whole biracial group. Just give me a few examples that made you feel you did not fit. It's very personal. I'm not even trying to
To be
use
honest,
the voice of everyone.
the whole ideology, everything,
Can you give me
everything.
one example? I'm just asking for one specific
There's no
example.
one
I have a
example
question.
because I'm not. It's not that simple. Like it ain't just one thing that's gonna make me be like, oh, I'm not black. It don't work like
But
that. Like
unless I'm saying I'm not. Of course, there's going to be multiple examples, but there had to have been at least one to say that made you feel this way.
no, it's not one. It's factors. Like it's like
Name three.
it's kind of like our identity. It's kind of like my genetics. There's not just one. I can't tell you. Oh, I'm just. Damn, my phone dying. But it's like if I say I'm part black, right? That don't tell you
Okay.
nothing. That don't tell you what I am.
Exactly. So that doesn't
So if
mean
I
you
tell
don't fit
you
into the black community.
part of it, one example, that's not going to tell you the whole truth.
That are you not understanding my question?
I do understand it. What I'm trying to tell you is that if I tell you that, it could lead to a false narrative.
But that's what
because
I'm
it's
not. I'm
not
not
one
asking you to
thing.
speak for everyone. I'm not asking you to
I'm
speak for
not
all
speaking for everyone.
biracial.
I'm saying that it's more than one thing. It's something.
But give me one. That's why I'm only asking for one. I'm not even asking for a lot.
It's a
I'm just
mixture of
asking.
things. It's like me. It's like me. If I tell you one thing, that's not. It
But
won't
it
make
would help
sense.
to an
It would be
understanding, like
false.
if
It
you were
won't
able to
help
give an
because then
example.
no, it won't help because it's
But
like
you not giving anything is
it's
not
more
helping at
complex.
all.
It's
That's what I'm saying.
complex
For people to
because it
understand
has to be
something, you have to
explained
be
in
able
a
to provide
complex
them
way because it's
information.
complex.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Has any fully black person or fully white person ever had said something to you that made you feel like offended? Like, why would you say something like that to me? Because for me, the reason I don't really side with either or it's who I meet. I like who I meet. Doesn't
Why
matter
does it
what
have to be
race you are.
something a black person say? It could be something a Chinese person say. It could
I'm
be
not
something a white
saying
person
no. I
say.
didn't say a black person said. I said either or. I said it because some people are stuck in their
Well, that's the
ways. Some
thing.
people just don't like biracial people because
It's
they don't
things that
feel
white
like
people
they
and black
should
people
be
say.
mixing with each
It's
other.
things
That's
that
just how
white
some people
people
feel.
and black people say. It's the
You
way
can't
they look
change
at
how
each other.
somebody
I have
feels.
a different
Like
perspective.
some people are still racist because they have hatred in their heart. You
Right, and
can't
I don't
change
see
how they
race the
feel.
same way white people and black people do. Y'all see it binary. Y'all see we're black, they're white. White people see it, they're black, we're white. I do not see it that way because I'm literally both.
Okay, respectfully, like for people to understand things, you have to be able to explain it. To even start a conversation for people to understand, like, okay, that makes sense. Like they should have that space. But
Yes,
you're not
ma'am.
even giving us
I'm
a way to
biracial should be
understand.
enough. Like I shouldn't need no more
But I'm going
reasons
based
than
off
that.
how you worded it. It's not you didn't simply state normalize biracial spaces. You stated it in a way that
All right. I'm gonna
because
tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now what it was. Somebody
okay.
told me I was biracial, and I was like, you know what? You're right. And I've been biracial ever since.
That's interesting. Okay. That's
So okay, I have a question. When they said that to you, what did
Yeah.
in that moment? What did you take it as? Like, what
I took
did
it
that mean
as,
to you?
what does that mean? I looked up the definition and it said a person that is black and white. I was like, damn, this shit.
So
That's me.
genetics.
but
That's me.
again, that would be going back to what I just said. You could have said normalize biracial spaces, period. You then went on to continue to say for biracial people who don't fit into black or white. That doesn't stop you from not fitting in.
Why not?
You still fit in. You were
Right,
raised
that's
in a
the
black
problem. I
community. You
don't want
had
to
no
fit in.
issues.
Stop. You fit into biracial. You
If
fit
I'm
into
So,
white.
do
You're
you?
white.
Okay, so
You're white. You're white. You fit into white. You're white.
What?
You're not black. You're white.
hello.
that wouldn't work like that, but
Why not?
Okay,
They accept you.
let me use
I
colors
wouldn't
as
be
an
accepted in the
example.
white community.
They
I'm
accept you.
green
You're all
and
Americans.
red,
Okay, so that's so
but
he's just
you don't.
I'm sorry. I just kind of I think the plot has got a little lost because
It has.
what you're saying and how you worded the live isn't exactly your narrative. Like you're saying
There's a
one
lot of
thing,
narratives. There's not just one.
but I'm going based on
You're
how
gonna
you
hear them
worded
all.
the
Like
live.
we got forever to talk
We're
about
not hearing
biracial shit
nothing.
because we're here, we're born, we exist, we're still being created. So you're gonna keep hearing different narratives every fucking day.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like you could have left it at normalized biracial spaces. Like nobody would have thought that. It's that you're stating it in a way as if you weren't accepted by the black community that you were raised in.
I feel
As
like
if
you
you
want
were
to create
treated.
your own race.
You're trying to distance yourself from the black community that you were raised in, as if it's like they didn't
So
accept you. When based on what you said, they did. So it's how you worded your life that
Why
makes it
did mixed
confusing.
people for thousands of years create their own race, their own groups?
When did they do
What?
that?
The
You're the one that
mulattoes
wants
did
to
it. The
start
blue
it.
no,
man
we're
societies did
You
it.
just
we
stated
as
it was a new
biracial.
The
a new
Arabs
space.
did it. The Moors did it.
Okay, we
The
as
Hebrews
biracial
did it.
people are classified
The
as to what
Latinos
we
did
look
it.
like.
There's so many
We
mixed
didn't
people
do
who've
it;
been
they
making
did it.
their
The
own
people who
But
groups.
you just said we're talking
we
about
didn't
black and white.
create it. We didn't create. Oh, we're white and black. That's what they did to identify what we look like.
Right. And
Like they
now you
said,
know what you
oh,
look
this
like because
color
they
is red.
created it. So if they never
This color.
created what y'all look like, you would never know.
Not what we look like. I mean, what they see us as, not what we see
So they see your
us.
phenotype, but if they never seen it, you would have never seen it.
Do you not hear what I'm saying?
I don't
I
think he
guess not.
understands.
I don't
Okay.
think we
He
understand.
can hear
Say
you.
I
say
think that
say we
you're
have
black,
say
I'm
we have a blue.
biracial. We
Okay,
don't
let me just say
understand each
something.
other. Maybe
Say
we
we
could
have
talk
the
about it
blue
later. But
sky
for now,
and
I
we
would
But
like
you're
got
not.
to
That's
talk
what I'm
to
and
saying. You're not.
biracial people who
The thing is, you have
understand
to
me.
be able
can
to
I just
explain
give you
your
an
space.
example? Say I have a blue car and a red car. How would I know if it's blue or red if someone before me didn't say, "Oh, that's blue, that's red"?
You
That's
wouldn't
like
know
me
the
saying,
label,
"Oh,
but you would
I
know
don't
that it's
know
there. Just like
that's a
we
black
don't know our
person,
label, but
but
we know we
clearly you're
exist.
white." And y'all get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. Like, listen, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
very understand. Like, that's
Like
why I just want to seek to
if
understand
people
his
before us didn't
stance.
discover things, we would have no knowledge.
Y'all making this boring, bro. Y'all gotta go.
Oh,
Bro, you're
We need some new
tripping.
people up here. We need some new people up here.
Bro. I understand like what you're trying to say. Like, yeah, obviously, you probably don't feel fully accepted as a black person because
Cause I'm biracial. It's the
you're
truth.
biracial, and I
The
do
truth
understand that.
sets you free.
But you have to understand that in the context of our country, bruh, it is black and white. There's no third race of people. It's everything against whiteness. Like that's literally how they designed it in this country. So I understand that. Yeah, like the example you brought with like the whole like Arabs and middle and Egypt and all that shit. Yeah, I get that, but that is we're not like we don't have like what millions and millions of biracial people in this country and have a distinct culture where we're like a
Man,
whole
I didn't
different group
say
of
we
people.
need a fucking nation. I said a space. Motherfuckers got a
Bro, I
problem with
understand
space.
this is
I
the
ain't even
space right
talked
now
about
that
a
we're
nation.
talking about that, but we are all culturally black. We're not even culturally black. We're just
Bro.
in this country. We're literally associated with blackness.
And who
We're
said
black.
that? And who said that? Who
We
told you
all
that?
have the same African
Who told you
DNA,
that?
Caribbean and in the U.S. Like there's
All
like
right.
obviously
Look, my
culturally.
DNA is
What?
European and African.
European and African, but yes, but during the slave trade, we were all brought in from the same countries. We all had the same African DNA. The people in
And
DR
that's
and
what you want
Haiti
me to
have the same
identify
DNA as
as?
the people in the US. Like there's no
Biracial. Let me tell you something. The people they brought in them ships was not biracial.
Oh my God. So why are you trying to make a difference? That's what I'm asking you. Like we're
Because there is
all
a difference. Why the fuck would I want to know the truth?
the truth of what?
That I'm biracial.
Bro, we are literally black people, bro. Like, we're black. We're in this country, we're black.
Who is we?
You and me, nigga, we're black. We're black.
And what? Black and what?
We're black, bro. Yes. Okay, if you're talking about African and European, that's a different conversation. That's a whole different conversation.
That's mixed.
But in this country, we're black.
Black
bro.
and what?
We're black.
Are you
All of us?
biracial?
Yes.
Wait, can I ask you a question? Are you black and white?
Yes. No, I'm racially European and African.
So why you just say we're black, and then now right now you're just saying you're European and African? Which one is it?
Black and white is not the same conversation as
So
African.
you're telling me black people are half white?
What?
No, he's saying there's a difference between your ethnicity and your race. He's recognized.
I'm talking about my race. My race is white and black.
No,
your race is what is your
European and
phenotype. That is.
African. In this country, we are
What
black.
the fuck are you
We're
talking
considered
about?
black.
If you're black, this is a biracial space.
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah,
oh my
that doesn't
God.
make any sense.
Those are
How are
two,
you?
bro, your prompt is already an error. Like you're saying this is a normalized
Let me be
space
an
for
error.
biracial people.
If I don't know what I'm talking
offend to
about, let
black
me not
and
know what
white.
I'm talking about. Leave. Let me
I know
continue
exactly
to
what
not
you're
know what
talking
I'm
about,
talking
but your
about.
argument is incorrect. I'm trying
All
to
right,
help
let
you
my
correct
argument
your
be
argument.
incorrect. How does that harm you? How does me being incorrect harm you? Or
Because it's
not
harming
harming
a
you. You're
narrative
harming
of other
yourself. That's
people.
what I'm trying to help you with.
if it's harming other people, it must have power.
So,
Yes, that's the conversation about black
So
and
I'm
whiteness. That has
biracial.
to be
Biracial
destroyed.
power.
The whole concept of black and whiteness has to be destroyed. That's why I'm
So,
saying in your
Joe,
own prompt, there's an error. That's the wrong
That
argument
ain't
to
my
even
problem.
have.
All right, go talk to white people and black people and tell them destroy it. Come back and have this conversation when they destroy
I
the
think
racial
the first
constructs.
step is to talk with biracial people, bruh. The people that are feeling like outsiders looking from the outside in. I think this is the perfect space to have that conversation, bro. Like, what are we talking
We've
about
had
right
that
now?
conversation since this country was created.
Yes, bro. So why are you trying to make more of a division socially?
I don't think
What do you gain from this?
by making it
from this. I have my own idea. I have my own identity, my own acceptance.
Bro, but why do you have to make
My
a
own
divide? Like,
consideration.
what is the value of division?
If you don't know,
I do know
then
what
I
you're
can't help
saying,
you.
but it's wrong.
It's not wrong.
It's not wrong.
Please explain to me why it's not wrong.
So
I need
Because we're not hurting anybody. We're not doing nothing. We're not pressing people. We're not making laws to
said that you're
anybody.
excluding people that don't fit into your agenda.
I
Exactly.
didn't say that.
You literally kick people out for disagreeing with you. Actually,
No, I didn't. This is my
You were
live. This is a
before.
live. No, you're still here and I disagree with you.
yes. Now that you had a conversation,
I have to
with two
let you
ladies
up and talk.
earlier,
I
you're
had to
different
kick them
now.
out
The
so you can
fact that
come
you
up and
was.
talk.
Say that
So
again?
stop being wrong. Stop assuming shit.
I'm not assuming, nigga. I've
Go
been
home,
watching this
study.
for hours.
Go educate yourself. Go figure out
Bro,
who
I'm
you are.
highly educated, bro. I think
Go,
you need to
go
educate
talk to a
yourself
counselor.
as well.
I can't help you. I don't know what's wrong with you.
Bro, what are you talking about? Bro, am I tripping? Like, bro, like, what are you saying
Wait,
right
wait,
now?
wait. I have a question for Joe. So earlier you said that everyone in this country like is black. What do you mean by this country is black?
In our country, in the US specifically, there's a social construct between white and black. White and black does not exist. What the conversation is European and African
why is
descent.
he
but
arguing
that's
with
not the
biracial people
conversation
about
we're having.
race
You're
not
talking
existing?
about whiteness and blackness.
He is
so I'm
biracial,
asking you,
though.
what is blackness?
But why is he
and what is
arguing with
whiteness?
us about why
Yeah,
race don't
we are
is not existing?
What? Say that again?
How can race not exist, but you're saying you're biracial?
Yeah, listen, I'm trying to. Okay, you're saying biracial, right? As in you're mixed with African and European. That's correct, right?
Black and white.
No.
Oh my God.
Black and white is not a real thing.
Oh,
It's a
so, okay.
division made by white America
I
to differentiate from blackness.
So
from
they divided themselves from Africans, and I'm dividing myself from white people and
Why
black
would you
people.
And
want
black
that?
people for what?
Why would I do
You're
that?
making a third
Because I have more
of a
power in
division.
being myself.
Are you
You
power
have
hungry?
less power in being divided.
Yes,
That
I'm
is the
power
whole
hungry.
point of
I want power, money,
There it is, guys. He wants
respect,
power.
wealth. Don't we all want
Respect and what, bro? Like I heard,
Don't
like
you
I
wanna be
remember you
rich?
said earlier, bro. You said earlier
you want
said
money?
that you had more.
That has
privilege
nothing to do with your
power.
race,
You associate
though.
with black and white than
It
associate
does
with
for me.
black. How does that
Because-
benefit the black community in
because
any
I'm
way?
not uplifted in black spaces or white spaces.
Well, how are you not uplifted in black spaces or white spaces?
So okay,
I'm not finna explain.
Let him.
so I
Let him. I want to know his stance, though. He has this really strong stance, but he doesn't explain it.
Exactly.
Which is where it
so
gets confusing.
I can actually say something about
What's
this, right?
understood ain't gotta be explained,
Oh.
man. Y'all already know what the fuck going on. Y'all
We
acting
don't.
slow. Well, y'all gonna
You're not
figure it out.
explaining it,
Y'all
though.
gonna learn just like I learned. I figured it out myself. Y'all gonna figure it out for yourselves.
You haven't figured yourself
So
out.
think about everything I said
The
today.
thing
Go
is-
home, sit down, and think about it.
As a black person, we have experiences that we can easily explain, which is why we're just trying to understand. as
Because
your
y'all can
biracial
easily
space.
explain it because y'all come together, put the words together. Y'all,
It's not. I can speak. I can
it's
give
a
you
saying.
firsthand examples.
It's a saying.
from my
Two
own
heads
personal
think better than
life
one.
at black
It's
issues
not
that
just
I
one
have.
black person thinking about
I'm
this
asking
shit.
you
Y'all got a
as
whole community, a whole fucking nation to think about this shit.
It's not though, but I'm saying as a black person, I can give you black
As a black
experiences that I've
person,
had.
you feed off of other
Biracial,
black
you
people,
can't
what they
give me
say,
firsthand
right?
biracial issues that you feel you have to create this space
Don't y'all
for.
exchange information and y'all feed off each other? That's what
I'm not
community
talking
does, right?
about that. I'm just saying, as a black person, I've had experiences in my life that I can give you examples of, that I can say
Man,
these
what
are my
time
black
is it?
experiences.
So
As a biracial person, you should be able to do the same. As a
I
biracial
can.
person, I've had
So
these experiences myself
I'm
that,
finna this live,
that other
man. Y'all have a
biracial
good
people
night.
share.
This was a good kind of
Bro
good
lost the
conversation.
argument and wants
Bro.
to end
Okay.
the live.
Yeah, I lost
That's
the
what I'm
argument.
saying,
so
bro.
we're gonna
Like,
come back
literally-
tomorrow. Look, I caught an L, lost the argument. Y'all won the battle, but the war ain't over. So
I think
we're gonna have this conversation tomorrow.
Black power.
Biracial power.
Black
If y'all
power.
like about
Black and white power.
Black power.
You don't want that, apparently.
You really don't. Like, I'm trying to understand your space, and you're not explaining the
Because
space.
people are back and
Like,
forth
that's
between
all I'm
wanting
asking.
it and not wanting it,
Experiences.
feeling accepted and not feeling accepted. Like, what do you want? Because you just said black and white power, but on the other hand, you said, no, I'm not black or white. I'm biracial.
Oh,
Pick
okay.
one.
Oh, you defeated my argument. Oh my God. Let's have another argument tomorrow, cause I gotta go.
Bro, this guy
All right.
corny, bro.
Someone make a live. I can actually
Like,
like.
it's crazy
one
to be
and
so
talk.
wrong and then stand on it. That's hilarious.
Bye, stop.
Okay, go on with the win, fabulous Angie.